At this time, I would like to introduce our first guest artist. Second, I guess I was the first. Literally. Yeah, the rest of these folks are a bit younger than me, so they're probably all going to be wearing shoes. But that's their prerogative, if that's what they want to do. At this time, I would like to introduce truly one of the pioneers when it came to AIDS fundraising, and a person you could count on every time, even in the afternoon on a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, to raise money whenever it was needed. A pillar of our community, still working hard in our community today. Please welcome to the stage, if you would, Mr. Rod Gray as Miss Patti Le Plae Safe.
Thank you, Michael. So, thank you. You just had the 8mm version of the show. So now we'll move it up to LPs, about my time frame. How's everyone doing? Good. I want to say first, I'm very, very honored to be a part of this tonight. To be up on this stage and to continue doing for the community what we've all been doing is an honor anyway. But to know that I'm still able to kick and still do it is just beyond my thoughts. But I do want to tell you some things about what has happened to me in my life and in the time that I've been here in Dallas. This month it's been 30 years. And I'm so happy because I've always wanted to live here. And when I finally moved here, my life came together. So 27 years ago in September, Patti was born. And this poor whore, she's done it all. But the things that have happened to me that I think that are really special gave me life twist just about every time. One was starting off in the very beginning. I was a nobody. Absolutely no one knew who I was, but I wrote a column, Dear Patti, in the AIDS Update. Do you remember that? That was a very special time for all of us because we didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. But with me writing Patti's column, it allowed me to give some people some reasons to keep going and to go to events and have fun with people and still see that we are loving each other one-on-one in the day that we're in the moment that we're in. And I thought that was a very special time for me. But I wasn't supposed to be doing drag. So the United Court of the Lone Star Empire kept saying, we want Patti in our show. We want Patti in our show. And I kept saying to the editor of the paper, no, I'm not going. No, I'm not going. So Bill Nelson and Cherry Thibodeau pushed me on stage for an event called War on AIDS. Do you remember that one? Okay. That was the biggest fundraiser that I think we had put on at that point in time. It's kind of one of the newer ones. There had been some before that. I am very well aware of that. But that one was a big one. It was advertised and it was planned, rehearsed, and everything. So I was going to rehearsals and doing this to help with two people that were supposed to be on stage with a third that never showed up. Because I was helping them with choreography, I wound up being on stage with them that night. But I got a $20 tip. So I'm like, bitch, you've got a career here. You know, this is kind of nice. And it came from Tom Davis, who was the manager of the Roundup. We all know who Tom Davis is. So I've had a lot of things happen to me that have completely twisted me around and made me into the person that I am today. And if those things hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't be who I am standing here now. And it's like for the 80s, it was such a sad time for all of us because we were losing friends. I hated to go home and turn on my answering machine and hear someone needed diapers, someone needed food, someone needed a ride to go to the doctor tomorrow, someone needed someone just to come over and sit with them, and then there would be someone died, someone died, someone died, someone died. And it's like I really avoided going home because I knew we had answering machines back then. There was no such thing as cell phones, and we didn't. They were big boots, you know. They were like a gigantic shoebox thing for a cell phone. But back then, when we had a regular tape-recorded voicemail machine, it was very sad to go home and turn it on. There was weeks where I wouldn't turn it on at all. And so it was also a glorious time because the entertainers that are back here, we were just reminiscing on some of the things that happened to us at some of the events that each one of us have been to, but never have the four of us been together at the same time. So that's why tonight is, I guess, is such a special time. But yes, thank you. But in the 80s, it brought us together and made us a big, serious team that we worked really hard on raising money, and that's something I shall never regret. I may still be single because of it, because nobody really wants to date a drag queen, you know? But, oh, no, don't do that. I'm happy. I'm happy because I can carry out my own trash, you know? And I can move my own furniture. If you've been watching Facebook, I did it all week. So, it's like, you know, it's okay. But we had a glorious time with going to all these shows. There was a time when I had a black pickup truck. Do we remember that? I would throw drag queens in the back of the truck, and we would go from bar to bar to bar to bar to bar. And this was 7 nights a week, and still be a computer programmer going to work at 7 o'clock in the morning and getting off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No. It's because it had to be done. I appreciate the applause, but truly, I've always felt like it just must be done. For me to be the person that I am, just keep doing it. It doesn't matter how much money you raise. It doesn't matter what the dollar amount really is. Just do it. That's my motto forever. People like to brag about, oh, I've raised thousands of dollars. Well, yeah, I know I've raised lots of money, but I stopped counting at one point because it's not important. Because what's important is that someone got what they needed because I was on stage to help raise that money. So, thank you. Also, back in the day, we had to have a 3-photo ID. Do you remember that one? If you were a drag queen and you wanted to go into the bar, not doing a show, you couldn't get in because you didn't have a 3-picture ID card. Well, do you think I was going to dress like this and go downtown to the Department of Transportation and ask for a driver's license looking like this back in the 80s? Really? No, that's not going to happen. I didn't feel like that was important, so I started a protest. And on the Dallas Voice, got a picture of all of us, and there I am with holding a banner. They're like, you know, stop the IDs. And so all of us piled in the back of my pickup truck, and we got over here in front of the TMC and made big scene out of it because that was the bar that wouldn't let us in, you know. And that's the one we like to play in, have fun in. You know, it's like we were trying to let our hair down too, you know. So we got that changed. And so different things like that have twisted my life around and made things happen that wouldn't be if I didn't do what I did. And I just feel like it's important that whoever you are out there, that you're doing your part too, because you're here tonight, and that makes us feel special because we know that you're honoring what we have done. So you give yourself an applause for that one. And benefit after benefit. Some of them would raise like $300, and some of them would raise like $8,000. And that was back in the 80s. Now, today, because we're living with the disease, and everyone's living longer, benefits aren't like what they used to be. So the need for Patti isn't as much as it used to be back then, but I'm still doing things today. But when we did the $8,000 show, we were like overjoyed. I mean, you don't know, if you weren't in that time frame, you have no idea what it felt like to have $8,000 in your hand. And of course, you didn't even make $200 a month, you know. But $8,000 in your hand to give to the Resource Center, or give to the Oakland Community Services, or to give to any of the organizations that were here in Dallas, AIDS Services of Dallas. All of them needed our help, and we didn't care. We were just doing what we had to do, and that's the only thing we knew how to do, actually. And it made us a great family. And the whole time that I've been in Dallas, I've been on 10 different AIDS charity boards. All of them have been very special to me, and I've done lots of hard work to help with other people to teach things that they needed to know, hopefully, from what I knew already, or I learned something from them equally, because that's what we do together. We share things, and the only way we can share things is to get together and help each other. Is that not true? Okay, good. Y'all are on the same page I'm on. I love this. And I'm so glad you're here. Okay, do you want to hear some crazy experiences that have happened to me while I'm in drag? Okay, you want to know how I tuck it, right? There is a 3-finger gap, if you'll notice. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how. Okay. One time leaving the roundup, we had finished a benefit show. And do you remember me wearing the black and white checks? Anybody remember that? That was a popular little outfit that I wore all the time. Little tight dress. I thought I was so real. Didn't even have any makeup. You know, just little lipstick and little eyeshadow. And thought I was real. You know, ugly wig, ugly makeup. Well, you know, someone was right when they told me, Miss Patti, you're not pretty. And that was true. You know, I've learned a lot since then. But I was driving home in my little pickup truck. And I lived in Pleasant Grove at the time. Anybody live out in Pleasant Grove? I'm so sorry. I was smart enough to move away. But anyway, I was driving out to Pleasant Grove, and this cop is following me home. And back in that time, you know, you could go to jail if you were in drag because you didn't have an ID that matched your look. And I was scared to death. Yes, I did piss in my pantyhose. I most definitely did because I didn't know what to do. I drove real slow. I made some turns that I shouldn't have made to get off the road, but he followed me the whole way to my garage door. So I'm like, this is a manual garage door. I couldn't afford a garage door opener at that time. So I had to get out of my truck, open the garage door, pull the truck in, and then there he was. He was waiting on me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to jail. And so he then says something and I couldn't hear, and most of y'all know I'm a deaf person. Can't hear a damn thing if you're not looking right at me. I don't understand what you're saying. If you're in another room, I can't hear it. So he's down at the end of the driveway talking to me, and I'm like, sir, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. And he said it again. I was like, still can't hear him. Okay, sir, I can't hear you. Trying to be sweet, kind, you know, a little simple little country girl, right? Maybe that'll get me through. And he said it again, and he said, I just want to make sure you made it home okay. Really? Seriously? Well, I made a big mistake. He wanted me. I didn't know that. I was naive. That was the first chance I had to have a good time, and I missed it. So, kick me in the butt for that one. Damn. And he was a Nordic god, just gorgeous. And let me have it. But I got in the house, I turned the radio on, I turned the TV on, all the lights and everything, because I was afraid he was going to ring the doorbell and still handcuff me and throw me in jail. I was scared to death. I had a benefit once where I had a chance to sleep at Alcatraz, get locked up in a cell, be left all night long. You had to pay money to do it, and I backed out. Well, now that I'm older, I probably should have done that. That would have been an experience to talk about in my book, you know. But there might be a day where I'll go back and try that one. And the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, do we know them? I was out in San Francisco at that Alcatraz time, and they sainted me because they understood what I was for. That people have told me that I should change my name. You know, I could be Marilyn Monster or something, you know. I'm not going to say Monroe, but I always thought I was her. But anyway, I could have been a Marilyn something or an Ashley something or whatever. But Patti Le Plae Safe meant something. If I changed that name, then I wouldn't be her anymore. And I felt like I'm the only one who has to walk in her shoes. I'm the only one who has to have that on my shoulders at all times, that I can't change my image. I can't be someone else because this is who I am. And thank you, Lady Gaga. I was born this way. This is what I need to be. This is what I need to do. So, moving along, every city that I've ever been in, that I've done a performance in, I have also left money for charity because that's what I'm all about. I brought money back home many times and given it to our charities here, but in every city I've traveled in, because when I was lucky enough to be Miss Gay America, I traveled everywhere. I've done all but 2 states, and that's pretty good. And I've done benefit shows in every one of those states. So each one of those people have found out what we're about because I told them about Dallas. I told them about what we do. I spread the word like a preacher would do. And yes, I'm an ordained minister, and I'm proud of that too. So it's like you do tell and you do share, and again, I'm doing it. I can't help it. I'm like a preacher. I'm going to tell things. But I do enjoy going and traveling. And being 20 years ago, I was Miss Gay America. And luckily, during that 20 years, that has changed my life. It's actually made me a better performer. It's made me better at raising money as well. And it made me smarter about how I did things, too. So that's a nice thing to have on my shoulders to carry as another thing to make me kind of balanced, I think. And in the years that I was competing, you saw the article in The Voice where someone said, Miss Patti, you're not pretty, you don't have the right clothes, you're not talented, and you just stay with the charity stuff and let us do the pageant stuff. But when I became Miss Gay America, that was the first person who came to say, can I help you do something? And I thought, okay, this is where I could really turn it around and say something back, but I didn't. I said, it's okay. I'm doing okay, just like this. And it's like sometimes you have to stand tall and be yourself, no matter where you are and no matter what happens to you. And I think I've been doing that for a long time. Sometimes I keep wanting to give up, and I would like to sometimes take a break, but it can't be done because we still have more to do. And I like what Tammy said, that I'm bridging the communities together a little bit, because I have been involved in all kinds of aspects, whether it was leather or drag or clown. I've been a clown before. I've done all kinds of different things. And so being able to be lucky enough to put my shoes on and go into that role has been amazing for me. I think it's made me a very well-rounded and very balanced person. And now I'm like flipping houses and having a good time doing something butch. I can't believe it, you know, and it's fun. So you never know what can happen to you, and you can do anything. Just watch YouTube. It'll teach you what you need to know. If you don't know how to tuck, go to YouTube. It'll show you how. I really felt like being a part of Dallas has made me a very special person, because before I moved here, I really didn't know who I was. I was just totally lost, and I knew this city would bring me together. And there is very important and very special moments in the past that have made me stronger every day. And I think that it's because of people like you that come to events like this that make me feel as good as I do. So I don't want to cry. But thank you for being who you are, and I hope that this song will mean as much to you as it does to me. Hit it, Mr. Maestro.
From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. And there are no guns, no bombs, and no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments marching in a common band, playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. They're the songs of every man. God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I just cannot comprehend what all this fighting is for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the hope of hopes, it's the love of loves, it's the heart of every man. It's the hope of hopes, it's the love of loves. This is the song of every man. And God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. Oh, God is watching us. God is watching. God is watching us from a distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patti Le Plae Safe.